Hello everyone, welcome to Think with Lachance live show. This is Arman.
This is Rachel. Hi, Aman. Today we're gonna share the broiler growth performance to our to our audience. Do you know the fact that broilers are one of the most common sources of protein for human? There are 60 billion broilers are breeding on the earth every year. Well, the human popularity is only 7.8 billion.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, each 100 gram of chicken contains 23 grams of protein on average, which is one third to more than double that pork. The amino acid composition pattern of its protein is similar to that of eggs and milk, which is more suitable for people's health needs.
Yes, you're right. Uh,
You're gonna show us a picture about the.
yes, let's us show a picture. Each Although the demand is large, there are large numbers of broiler breeders and the industry is competitive. Moreover, the levels of the small farmers is uneven, causing the mismanagers and epidemics. The production and the profit indicators have a lot different. Many broiler farming companies have low profit and face many expected problems, such as the excessive mycotoxins standard. At the same time, the formula matching is unreasonable. The insufficient disability of the broilers and lead to broiler feed waste is frequent.
Okay, shall we back to our view screen? Yeah. Feed needs to be stored and transported. It takes too long, and the feed will become moldy, and the mycotoxins will easily exceed the standard, especially in South Asia and Southeast Asia.
Yeah, in our market.
Yeah, where the climate is hot and humid, and the rate of feed mildew may become more. But Aman, let me ask you one question.
Okay.
I often heard about the problem that feed waste caused by the lack of digestibility of broilers. Can you explain it to me?
Okay. The feed formula is not designed to allow the broiler to grow healthily in modern feed industry, but the maximize the growth of the broiler. Therefore, too much fat is often added to the feed to reach the critical value of the broiler digestion and absorption. This is almost reached the limit that the broiler can absorb it. Do you understand what is the limit reasons?
The limited, I guess, is maximum digestion and absorption rate of broilers under this formula.
Yeah.
Adding more fat will take it difficult for broilers to digest the excess fat and cause feed waste. If less fat is lower than the digestibility of broilers, there will be the room for improvement, which is just the right amount of fat added.
Yes, you're right. But under such conditions, we have to face a problem that the limit is an average value. It is calculated that there are always a few broilers with weak digestion ability that cannot reach the digestion and absorption capacity. That is the feed is be wasted. Just like the humans, there are always people with the weak digest abilities. If you a person eat the food every day to the maximum extent, and they can accept it. Certain food cannot be fully absorbed, causing the food waste. Moreover, our intestine and liver also under the heavy pressure.
Yes, the broiler breeding cycle is short, and the broiler's utilization of feed is limited, so it's easy to have a higher FCR. In addition, due to the high fat and the high protein feeding of broilers in the larger stage, the burden of liver and gallbladders is very serious, and is prone to face storia, hepatobiliary syndrome extra, causing casualty and loss, it's very necessary to improve feed utilization. I have so many questions to ask.
Okay.
How to improve the utilization rate of feed and reduce the waste of feed, reduce the FCR of farmers, and reduce the cost of broiler breeding?
Okay, let us check a picture.
The necessity of bioacid.
Please check the picture. For young animals, the organ development is not perfect and the bile secretion is insufficient. Adding bile acid can promote the utilization of fat, and protein can promote the growth and development of the broiler. In modern feed industry, the fat content has becoming higher and higher. The liver is overburdened, lead to the insufficient bile secretion in the broilers. Adding 200 grams of the bile acid can increase the utilization rate of the broiler feed, reduce the broiler mortality, significantly improve the slaughter performance of the broiler, and reduce the cost of broiler breeding in all aspects. First, bile acid can increase the digestibility of fat by 15 to 30%, so the amount of the fat can be reduced by 15 to 30% based on the original formula. Bile acid can increase the survival rate and the simulate. The housing time can be shortened 2 or 3 days. Bile acid can improve the production performance, improving the carcass quality, reduce the FCR by 5 to 10%. Adding the 200 gram bile acid per ton to poultry feed can reduce the metabolism energy by 50 calories. Bile acid can improve the body's physiological internal environment and effectively solve the broader intestinal disease through the nutritional regulation. Okay, back to the screen.
Okay, seems that bile acid are very effective on the growth performance of broilers, reducing the FCR and at the same time reducing the burden of a liver and of a broiler and reducing the mortality. So can you share us why bile acid can reduce the FCR and the breeding cost of broilers?
Okay, let us check another picture. Like this picture shows, bile acid can promote the digestion, absorption, and the utilization of fat, thereby improving the feed conversion rate and increase the feed returns. Bile acid has multiple biological activities in addition to emulsifying fat in the body. It also has functions to protecting the liver and gallbladder, anti-inflammatory, anti-tussive, anti-allergic, and antibacterial. Therefore, adding bile acid can make up the lack of the endogenous emulsifier. At the same time, it can improve the health of the body. In the hepatotic circulation, while emulsifying fat, bile acid can activate the active of the lipids for fat hydrolysis and then form the chloramicron with fatty acid, so that fatty acid can be absorbed through the membranes to promote the efficient digestion and absorption of fat. In addition, the bile acid return to the liver can stimulate the secretion of the bile, smooth the biliary tract, and eliminate the harmful substances such as the mycotoxins and bacterial endotoxins, thereby protecting the liver. Therefore, adding bile acid to broiler feed can effectively improve the digestion and absorption of fat, increase the energy, effectively relieve the cold and heat stress. Cold and heat stress is a big problem in Southeast Asia and South Asia. Improve the animal growth performance, reducing the mortality. It can also regulate the body fat deposition and efficiently prevent animal fat and later stage excessive deposition of the carcass. The slaughter performance increased by 2.4% and the abnormal fat rate decreased by 30%.
Okay. Oh, that seems is a very miracle product. The fact of biosis is so obvious that it can promote the digestion and the absorption of feed, which can save the cost of a feed factory to a large extent. Increasing the slaughter rate is very obvious to the profit of farmers or integrated enterprises.
Yes, but this is only one advantage. Broiler breeding need to solve many problems, such as mycotoxin problems. Okay, let us to check the page. Mycotoxin problems. It will cause losses of the beetle breeding. Mm, you just mentioned, like the mycotoxin problems. The problems of the mycotoxin is very serious. There are two main sources of the mycotoxins. First, it comes from feed. The feed ingredients such as the soybean meal, cow, fish meal, etc., among which the cow harvest during the rainy season. It may have moldy before the harvesting or may cause the mold if it is not dried in time. After harvesting, in many production areas of the cost, and some the mildew rate can reach the 5% to 10% or even higher. And the main toxins produced by the mildew are the Aspergillus flavius, Erosine, and the Vatimatomycin. Soybean meal and fish meal also contaminate mold and produce mycotoxins during the storage. Secondly, it's come from the chickens heredity. For chickens, it also transferred the body through the breeder chickens. After the breeder chickens feed mold feed, the mycotoxins accumulate in the yolk. And the mycotoxins are transferred to the chicks with the absorption of yolk at the later stage of the hatching after the shedding.
The harm of mycotoxins is very well known, and in recent years, the problem of broiler mycotoxin poison has become one of the main diseases in the breeding industry. In particular, broiler granders, stammer swinging caused by mycotoxin is a serious problem for broilers. Mm, industry. So, in addition, mycotoxins can accumulate in the liver, kidney, muscle, blood, and eggs of animals, causing contamination of animal food and causing great harm to human health. You just mentioned the source of mycotoxins, and I would like to offer some suggestions to the
Okay.
audience and in this regards. In terms of feed, reputable feeds are used because reputable companies are stricter in raw materials. After the feed is transported to the farm, the storage environment should be cool and dry. Avoid being wet or soaked by water, and avoid direct sunlight or other light temperature environment. In terms of adding feed, not only too much at a time. At the same time, don't have leftover materials in the bucket. If there's leftover materials, pour it on the top of the new material. So for the chicks, choose chicks from regular manufacturers.
Yes, your suggestion is very useful. Mycotoxins damage the organs of the broiler chicks, especially the liver. Once the liver is damaged, it will affect the composition and absorption of the nutrients. From affecting the broiler food intake and affecting the broiler growth performance. It will also cause the diarrhea and feed store, which will seriously affect the FCR and the susceptibility to E. coli is increased. So they don't die to stop the drugs and increasing the cost of the medicine. And later, it is easy to infected with the trial disease, such as empirical newscatter disease, which increase the risk of the breedings. Mm,
Yes, many feed companies and breeding companies also attach great importance to the problems of milk toxins. They take toxin binder to solve these problems. Although toxin binder can absorb milk toxins to a certain extent, the toxin binder also can cause feed nutrition waste. A large amount of lost milk toxins will also absorb vitamins and other trace elements, and it can only absorb part of lactogens. Can you completely eliminate lactogen problems? Therefore, to deal with the lactogen problem, only relying on toxin blender is not enough. Its bile acid have a very good effect in solving lactogen problems.
Yes. Bile acid also has a kind of excretion and can effectively remove the toxins accumulated in the liver and restore the liver functions. Deoxycholic acid in bile acid can effectively decompose the endotoxins. It can also promote the secretion of a large amount of thin bile by the liver cells, make the bile duct unblocked, eliminate the cholestasis, and play a choleretic effect. Many drugs, heavy metals, and mycotoxins other harmful substances are also secreted from the bile to maintain the animal health. Bile acid can protect the liver and reduce the various emergencies in broiler breeding, thereby solve the problems of slow growth of the broiler caused by mycotoxins and excessive liver burden. Bile acid can improve the digestion and absorption rate of the vitamins, promote the absorption of the vitamin D3, and the vitamin D3 promotes the absorption of the curcumin, solves the problem of the curcumin deficiency in the broiler that grows slow, promote the development of the broiler tiba.
Well, if you and your friends are interested in bile acid, you can get our contact information below. If you want to get more information about bile acid, please light up the little bell and follow us. We will share more feed knowledge and breeding knowledge.
Okay, it's time to say goodbye again. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.